All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of New Earth Teachings Live. I am, of course, your host, Brad Johnson. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. So I'm already looking at the chat. We already got some questions piling up, so that is excellent. And of course, as always, with the New Earth Teachings Live, we are going to, for the first half hour, do healing requests. And then the second half hour, we'll be moving on into Q&A, either for myself or for Adronis. But before we begin today's broadcast, we're going to start off with the usual announcements. So the first announcement is Patreon. Okay, New Earth Teachings online classroom is available on Patreon. You just go to patreon.com/newearthteachings. There is an online classroom held every Monday, and it's about 90 minutes in length, and all of our participants sign on to the classroom. It's held on Zoom webinars. And we basically get any topics, any subjects, any questions. Sometimes I also have conversations and techniques and education I share with the students in the classroom as well too. Plus you'll find that there are digital courses online, such as the Akashic Records Home Study Course, Law of Attraction Unleashed, Merkabah Meditation Series, the Insights with Adronis book is on there as well too. So there's a lot of goodies on the New Earth Teachings classroom. So go check it out, patreon.com/newearthteachings. Again, a classroom every Monday. The only exception, of course, is I'll be going to Mount Shasta here starting next week. So Monday will be the classroom, and then there will be about a 2-week gap before the next one when I return. But other than that, yes, every week an online classroom. Okay, second announcement. HealingCodeCards.com. There are still decks available. So if you want to go to HealingCodeCards.com and grab yourself the digital edition of the decks, you can go ahead and do that. As I've talked about, the printed deck is going to be available in around October or November. I still get a lot of people asking me questions. Brad, when's the printed decks coming? When are they coming? They're coming, guys. They're in the process of printing, right? It's going through China right now. So it's in China, and that's where the factory is that's printing the healing code cards. And they're printing a quantity of 500 of them. And so that'll take them a few weeks. And then getting it all packed up and delivered to me from China is going to take some time as well, too. So this is why I'm saying it'll be around October, November at the latest. But I'm going to be putting them on Amazon afterwards. And so they'll be on Amazon, and they'll be available for purchase as well too. I may also have a few on hand as well too, so people can also purchase them directly from me once they come. That is always an option as well. But again, healingcodecards.com, and of course you'll see the card here called the Third Eye Enhancer. Okay, that is a free sample card. Okay, it's a free card. So you can go to healingcodecards.com, go to the free samples page, and you can download that card plus 3 other free cards as well too. The Third Eye Enhancer card is extremely powerful. As I've talked about in the past, that I wasn't really looking to activate people's third eye through request relating to the chat, simply because there's a lot to it, right? And this card has a lot to it. So it works with your pineal gland, completely detoxifies it, clears away the calcium phosphate, any fluoride, sugar, alcohol, tobacco, all of it is completely cleared out through the Third Eye Enhancer card. Plus it also realigns your pineal gland as well too. So it does incredible work with your pineal gland. I tried it last night. I was getting visions like crazy. I was going into the Akashic Records. I was seeing an avian lifetime of myself in the Akasha, doing like ritual ceremony. It was really, really incredible stuff. So this is by far the most powerful third eye tool I have personally used, because it's practical. It goes inside and it cleans out the pineal gland. And no other form of technology that I'm currently aware of does that. So again, healingcodecards.com, go to the free samples page, grab yourself the Third Eye Enhancer, and again, there's 3 other free sample cards as well, and grab yourself a digital deck while you're at it as well too. Okay, moving on to our next announcement. For everybody who wants to understand more about their spiritual truth, spiritual understandings, who wants to come for a healing, who wants to be part of a spiritual community, who really wants to meet amazing experts, people gifted in their fields relating to healing, metaphysics, consciousness, channeling, psychic development, intuitive development, all of these amazing people are all under one roof.
The Empowered Light Expo is the greatest exposition of consciousness, exopolitical, and UFO studies I've ever seen.
There are so many intuitive and gifted people who are instruments of the divine, making their products, creating it, selling it, sharing their gifts of insight and wisdom as instruments of the divine.
It is some of the greatest speakers on these topics, talking on things that will blow your mind.
What we are sharing with everybody here is the importance of love, the importance of compassion, the importance of working together, the importance of coming together, the importance of forming community. The demonstration of love will be presented, for it is love itself that expands you into the levels of the highest degrees. Love is always the way. If you're coming to the Empowered Light Expo, expect to be changed.
This can transform your life.
Okay, so more information, you can go to empoweredlight.com. I'll be there in Philadelphia or Oaks, Pennsylvania, between September 6th and September 8th, doing a Adronis evening presentation, and of course, the Spirit Ambassador weekend class as well, too. Okay, so Mount Shasta, this is where I'm going here on Wednesday. I'm leaving on Wednesday to head to Mount Shasta. So again, there's a couple spots still left if you guys want to do last minute, because this is usually how it is people are last minute buyers. But if you guys still want to participate in this retreat and activation, we're going to do a lot of incredible things, right? Like I said, incredible things. I'd probably take like 20 minutes trying to explain the whole thing. But go to newearthteachings.com, go to the poster, and you'll see everything that we're doing. Again, it's a certification course pertaining to the EQ method, being a practitioner, and of course, initiating yourself into being a spirit code healing practitioner as well too. Visiting Mount Shasta, doing healing on the mountain, doing healing work around nature as well too. Learning how to work with nature energy, how to put nature energy into your body, how to clean out your chakras and your organs using just nature energy, how to create light circuitry and harness the nature energy within a circuit and utilizing it permanently within your body, doing remote viewing travel and time traveling, and looking back at these ancient sites hundreds of thousands of years ago. So again, lots of great stuff with the Mount Shasta Spirit Ambassador Retreat. It is an adventure, right? It really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So I am looking forward to it. Again, just in the next few days, it's going to be wonderful. And of course, final announcement, Cosmic Exploration Tour of South Africa. From what I'm told, we still got a little bit of spots left as well too. So it's wonderworld.vacations /South Africa with Michael Tallinger and myself. So again, Michael Tallinger will be along sharing his knowledge. Adronis will be coming in as well too, sharing information on the sacred sites. We will also be doing the remote viewing, time traveling as well too. Again, going to Autumn Equinox Celebration at Ellam's Calendar, Kruger National Park Safari, Cape Town Tour Extension, so I'll be in Cape Town doing private sessions with people. Again, it's going to be an amazing time, so feel free to check it out. Again, go to wonderworld.vacations and check it out. Okay, guys, got so many announcements. It's amazing. We are now going to go ahead and get started with New Earth Teachings Live. So I'm going to just open up the chat here and just take a look and see what anybody has posted. So like I said, guys, first half hour, we're just going to do healing. So single request, spirit code healing for people that request it. Like I said, if you guys do offer a donation, that'll put you first in line. That'll give you priority. But again, I'm going to try and get through the chat as much as I can. And of course, the second half hour will be Q&A. So if you guys have questions for myself or for Adronis, you can, of course, share it in the second half hour. So right now it's 10 after 12, so we'll probably be doing healing to about 12:40. And then from 12:40 to 1:10, we'll do some Q&A. Okay, so just scrolling down the list here. Oops. Okay, so we got some questions for Jonas. So again, guys, Q&A later half hour. Okay, here's one here from Danny. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Dear Brad, I have always had low energy and a physical pain body without any medical reasons. I always need a lot of rest, and I can't figure out why. Please send me some healing. Thank you so much. Well, basically, if you're feeling very fatigued, a lot of this has to do with the thyroid gland, right? If the thyroid gland is in low energy, this is exactly, you're just describing the symptom together. When I've done my video, the BCR technique demonstration video, you'll see in the video description, there's a link to the PDF that's about emotional moods of entity attachments, okay? And you click on that, you open it up, and you'll notice that what you've just described here has to do with a sluggish thyroid, okay? It's a very low energy. If you're feeling exhausted all the time, you feel like you don't have a lot of energy, you feel sluggish, you feel like you just don't want to move, you may feel grumpy and grouchy. A lot of that is the thyroid, okay? So what I'll do for you, Danny, is I'll work with your thyroid now. We'll basically clear out some toxins within the thyroid as well, too. I'd also recommend getting the Healing Code Cards deck, okay? And use the gland enhancer. Okay, the gland enhancer works with the thyroid, works with all glands within the body, but especially works with the thyroid as well too, clearing out a lot of debris within the thyroid gland. Okay, so Danny, what I want you to do right now is I just want you to place your hands upon the center of your chest, just like this. Okay, and I just want you to imagine that one of your hands has a root coming out of it. Okay, and just placing your hands upon the center of your chest. Now, of course, the first thing we're going to do before we do that, which I'm remembering now, is we want to ground ourselves. Okay, so you can still keep your hands here, but we're just going to place our feet, and everybody can do this as well too. Just placing your feet firmly upon the ground. Okay, feeling roots coming out through the feet, and going deeply into the ground. And now feeling that brown energy of the earth going up to the roots, connecting to the feet, the ankles, the legs, moving all the way up into the base of the spine. And now we're going to mix and blend that brown grounding energy in with the chakra centers. So looking into the root chakra of red, moving it up into the orange chakra of the navel, moving up into the yellow chakra of the solar plexus, and making sure they're in medium tones of color, going up into the green of the heart chakra, which is the thymus gland actually. And you're going up into the thyroid gland, okay, sky blue, the third chakra, and moving up into the third eye, ocean blue, and going up into the crown chakra, violet and or ultraviolet color, okay? And now just imagining that you are going to start opening up your crown chakra. So I want you to contract your rectal muscle, inhale, bringing that breath to the top of your head. Exhale, opening up the crown chakra, releasing the rectal muscle, and feeling your crown chakra opening up like an unfolding fan. And feeling this rainbow light coming out of your head and cascading itself down the body, connecting down to the bottom of the feet, and connecting directly to the perineum. Okay. So now we are going to imagine our toroidal field, our energy field, is just slowly starting to rotate. Okay, nice and softly, nice and slowly. And this is, again, our energy field being receptive to the earth energies and is now opening itself up into spiritual energy that can now come forward. Okay. So, Danny, back to you. Again, just placing your hands upon the center of your chest, feeling that little root coming out of your hand. And I want you to connect it directly to the thyroid gland, okay? Now, you don't actually have to do anything because you may not be 100% certain about what is in your thyroid gland that needs to be cleared, okay? So I just want you to connect with the thyroid gland, and I just want you to say with 100% faith in your mind, my thyroid gland will be completely clean and healthy. My thyroid gland will be completely clean and healthy, okay? And just holding that thought as I connect with your energy now. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, eliminate, and purge all sluggish toxins, all bacteria, all viruses, all pathogens contained within Danny's thyroid gland, lifting that energy up out of her body, putting it up into source consciousness to be purified and having her healthy thyroid gland brought back into pure restoration, rejuvenation, and bringing her daily energy back into a higher level capacity. Apply. Okay, so Danny, just keep an eye on your thyroid gland. Okay, start working with, firstly, you want to make sure you have good pH balance with your body as well, too. You want to make sure that you're not getting too much acidity within your body. Again, that can breed viruses, right? You're making sure we're not drinking a lot of dairy or eating a lot of dairy. We want to take eggs out of the equation as well, too. Anything that feeds viruses, we want to basically completely steer away from. Okay, so we basically want to have a lot of green diet, you could say. And again, look into the healing code cards. Look into using the gland enhancer and clearing out the thyroid as best as you can, okay? There's a lot of other things you can do as well, too, to help out with the thyroid. You can also look into iodine drops as well, too. So a lot of different options. But again, just take good care of your thyroid. That's why you're feeling a lot of the low energy, okay? Thank you, Danny. All right. Okay, so here's one here from Diana Sauls. Thank you, Diana, for your post. Diana says, "Hi, Brad. Thank you for all that you are. My dearest friend, Craig B., just found out there's a tumor on his brain. Please ask Spirit to dissolve this. Much appreciation from South Africa." Okay, thank you, Diana. For your friend Craig, yes, absolutely. Okay. So, Diana, what I want you to do is I want you just to envision you standing next to Craig, right? You can imagine like he's laying on a bed or something like that. But I just want you to imagine you're just putting your hands up and you're just creating this loving, supporting energy field for him, okay? So just seeing him in your mind and just putting this kind of cocoon of love energy. So you can see it kind of as a pink light or a violet light as well too. That's fine. But you're just draping this veil of love and support over him, okay? So I will now connect with Craig. I'll just call him Craig instead of Craig B. Okay, I'll connect with Craig and we'll look into that tumor in his brain altogether. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, eliminate, and purge the tumor contained within Craig's brain. Should there be any cancer contained within the tumor, let that cancer be canceled out, eliminated, and purged. Let the fungus from the cancer be purged from the body, putting it up into source consciousness, and may the tumor and all harsh energies contained within the tumor be completely dissolved from Craig's brain. Apply. Okay. So Diana, just continue to send him a lot of love, a lot of support. Okay, I'm getting from Spirit that is now being dissolved, that tumor. Okay, so he'll start feeling better. But again, it's a transitional process, okay? If it's a mass, so Spirit will work with that mass, but it is going to be a gradual healing process. But again, just be there for him, offer him a lot of love, a lot of assistance, a lot of help during this time, okay? Thank you very much, Diana, for your request. Okay, so again, guys, I'm just kind of ignoring the Q&A right now, okay? We're going to get into that later. Okay. Here's a funny question here. Kevin, Brad, can you heal my bad luck in love? Bad luck in love. Okay, well, I don't personally subscribe to the idea of luck in that way. What I can basically do is just kind of offer you advice in that way, because it's not really something you need to be healed in the body, other than the idea on an emotional level, okay? You have to firstly fall in love with yourself before someone else can fall in love with you, okay? What that means is you're giving yourself permission to be in open love, to be committed to the love, to feel that you are worthy of having that love in that way too. If you see yourself down the dumps, you feel yourself, you have no value, you're not open to having that love within yourself or having it mutually exchanged, and of course that's where there's going to be a problem. So you don't really need a spirit code healing for that, okay? So again, work with your own love. Just take yourself out. Take yourself out on dates, right? Take yourself out for dinner. Take yourself shopping. Go out into nature. Enjoy yourself in meditation. When you start honoring yourself, loving yourself as well too, and you radiate that love out, love is going to come back to you, right? That's all it takes. It's just a matter of realization, of opening yourself up into that love energy, okay? And then knowing that you deserve it to be reciprocated, okay? So what do you feel you would like to offer yourself, and how do you feel that can be used to offer and help others through love, right? And that love will be reciprocated to you. So Kevin, best of luck with you in that. Again, I don't like to use that. I would say the most gracious abundance to you altogether. Okay? Thank you very much. All right. Hello, Heather, and everybody else. Canadian prairies. Very good. Okay. Here's a question here from Kid Cody 1111. Hi Brad, can you please do a healing for my mom Glenda? She has an open sore on her leg and foot, and it will not go away. She has been fighting it over a year now. Thank you so much. An open sore. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, on her left leg and foot. On her leg and foot. Okay. So she has an open sore on her leg and foot, and it will not go. Okay, I'm not too sure if it's left or right. All right, we'll work on that. I'll just basically mention the open sore on the leg and foot, and Spirit will know what to do. Okay. So open sores, yeah, again, these can be virus, bacterial infections as well too, so we want to make sure that we're taking good care of that as best as we can. I know what it's like to have those open sores as well too, so the whole key is really just being able to nurture it as best as you can, make sure it's being disinfected as well too. There's no virus or bacterial agents connected to that, but we will work on that now. And so your mom's name is Glenda. Okay. So Kid Cody, what I'd like you to do again is just close your eyes and just imagine that your mother is in front of you. Okay, if she's laying on a bed, that's fine. And again, you're just putting your hands over her and you're creating this love cocoon, okay, this veil. Again, pink light, violet light, that's fine. But you're just surrounding her and shrouding her with this love support veil as this healing begins, okay? So I will now connect with Spirit. I command Spirit's God light to completely cancel out, eliminate, and purge the open sore wound upon the leg and foot of Kid Cody's mother Glenda, allowing that open sore to be canceled out, eliminated, and purged of any viruses, toxins, bacteria, infections, chemicals, radiation, and any stagnant or harsh energies that may reside within it, purging all of that energy up out of her body, putting it up into source consciousness, to be 100% purified, and may her leg and foot be restored back into healthy, harmonious order. Apply. Okay, so the codes have been sent to her. So again, just get her to keep an eye on this. Continue to send her a lot of love as well too. Like, look into the BCR technique. Put a lot of concentrated love energy towards your mom. If you don't want to put the love energy into your body, you certainly don't have to. You can use all of that accumulated concentrated love energy and you can send it to another person, okay? But before you do that, you just want to make sure that you have their permission to do that, okay? Like I said, people can sometimes take a lot of that concentrated love energy and they can turn it into something else if they're in a sour mood, right? So what you want to do is you want to tell a person, hey, I'm going to do this healing for you right now. I'm going to send you all this love energy. Just accept it as it comes through, and this can help with your wound. Okay, so if she's open to it and accepting of it, use that as well too with the BCR technique. Okay, talk to her angels as well too. Let her angels work through it as well. That too is a wonderful thing. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Kid Cody, and all of the best and love to your mom. Okay. Getting like a chat here about printed card decks and paper, gets past cyber anytime. Yeah, I agree, guys. Yes, I really do prefer the paper copies. But like I said, when you're using healing code cards wise, even if you're using the digital decks, you're still going to have a powerful effect with it. Okay, because there's 3 ways that you use the healing code card decks. Okay, the first one is staring at it for 60 seconds. Second one is having it in physical form and putting it on your body for 60 seconds or longer. Third form is putting it near a glass of water, right, either underneath or beside it, and having the water charged for 60 seconds and then drinking it down with sips. So all 3 work fine. So again, it's all up to you. Some people prefer a printed copy. Some people prefer digital. It's okay. As long as you have the cards, that's all that matters to me, right? So again, I appreciate everybody's patience as we wait in anticipation for the cards to be printed. Okay, thank you guys. Blessings from Tim and Kim. Oh, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Everybody here is just so nice. I just got such wonderful people in the chat here. Wish I could get around to everybody's questions and stuff like that, but we do have time restraints. Okay. Oops. Okay. Brandon asks, is it possible to help with the emotional body? Yeah, we certainly can. We can work on emotional states, but usually what I do is I don't want to, especially through single request healing, to get too much into the emotional state. If you're feeling like there's a lot of pain in the physical body, then that's something we can take care of. Now, emotions in that sense are not a bad thing, okay? We're not looking here to scrap emotions altogether. Your body needs emotions. Emotions is all part of its interface. It's telling you something needs to be addressed. It's telling you there's some type of misalignment within the body, and the emotions are helping you with that. So I'm not looking here to really clear your emotions out. I can help to clear out the identity around emotions, because that's where there is entity attachments, right? Entity attachments are a byproduct, a catalyst of what is happening within you, letting you know that there are identification issues pertaining to emotions within your body. Okay, we're not looking to scrub away emotions to be completely emotionless. That's not the idea. What allows the ancient masters of old, the yogis, who have been able to work with themselves and become very, very humble, they did not throw their emotions away. They completely transitioned away from the identity of the emotions, the identity of the mind, the identity of the body, right? They still had a body. They were still existing here in a body. They were still sitting in that cave meditating. They still had a mind, but their mind was not running rampant, right? They were able to clear away all the identity gunk contained within the mind, contained within the emotions, contained within the body. That's what clears away. This is what I call the silver lining principle, okay? That's all we're doing, is we're basically just clearing away the identities. You're not looking here to be a Vulcan, okay? You're not here to have absolutely no emotion whatsoever, okay? You are going to have emotions, but you do not have any identities with that emotion, okay? So if you were to go up to one of these yogis and slap them right across the face, they will feel that pain, but there will be no identity accusing you in that way about you slapping them in the face. They will still be very, very humble, even though they feel the pain, but they're not, oh, you son of a, right, and get up and try to slug you. They are moving past that idea of not identifying with the idea of that emotion. Certainly they feel the emotion, but they're not identifying with it, okay? So that's basically where I stand relating to the single request healing. Is it's mainly if you're noticing you're having problems with the body, the physical body usually. If you are having some emotional problems, we look into the identity aspect of where you're having trouble, okay? And that's where the EQ method comes in, or again, a private session with me comes in, and we can explore that a lot deeper. I don't want to get rid of your emotions, because your emotions are telling you exactly what is out of alignment within your body, okay? And we want to work with that, so there's a harmony to that. So that would be the answer to your question. Okay, Brandon, thank you. Okay, here's one from Sun Fairy. Hey, Brad, I need help with weight loss. I hate it when the chat does this. When I'm reading it, just like, bleh, flips away. Hey, Brad, I need help with weight loss. My body won't let go of this extra weight. Got to be a blockage. Well, again, there's a lot of causes pertaining to the idea of weight loss. A lot of it is just what I would suggest is doing cleanses, doing like mineral cleanses, cleaning out the body and just getting a lot of the gunk out of the body, especially in the intestines, okay? The intestines can get bloated. They can get rotting food contained inside the intestines as well too, and that ferments inside the body, and you really have to kind of push all that out as well too. So weight loss can come into the different ways. There can also be a fatty liver involved as well too. We need to clear that out also. So what I can do for you, Sun Fairy, is we can work basically with the liver today. I think I'm just going to work on harmonizing the liver, clearing out any fat tissue within the liver so that the liver can become better processing, okay, to help you with the evacuation. Okay, I've had problems with weight myself, as you guys probably can tell, right? I've had a belly for a while. And I'm still working to clear it out as well too, because there's a lot of complications relating to weight loss, especially with the spirit light codes, because there's other underlying issues that you got to work with, right? So it gets a little bit complicated. So the best thing when a person comes to me with weight loss and say, okay, well, we'll work with your liver. Okay, your liver will basically help once we get a lot of that cleaned up to really help process a lot of the weight within your body. Okay. So Sun Fairy, what I want you to do right now is just want you to take your right hand and place it upon the liver. Okay, it's just under the right breast. And again, you can see that little root coming out of the center of your palm, and just putting that upon your liver. Okay? I just want you to connect with that liver. And now this is what I want you to do, is I want you to connect with the liver, and I want you to tell it any fat, cellulite, and bacteria within the liver, transfer it all to my hand. Okay? So I just want you to imagine the energy, just the energy, the essence of fat tissue, the essence of cellulite, the essence of bacteria and viral toxicity. Okay? Just transferring all of that essence into your right hand. Okay? And you're going to start to feel like that hand is getting heavy. And I'll give you a few seconds for that. And once you feel it heavy, that's a good thing, because that's the energy coming into your hand, and that's what we can use to clear out a lot of the energy relating to the sluggishness of the liver. Okay, so Sun Fairy, I just want you to hold that there as your hand gets heavy. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, eliminate, and purge all of the energies contained within Sun Fairy's right hand, lifting that energy up out of her body, putting it up into source consciousness to be purified, canceling out, eliminating, and purging all fat tissue, all cellulite, all sluggish energy, all toxins, all viruses, all bacteria contained within Sun Fairy's liver. Let them be purged from her body, putting up into source to be purified, and having her liver operating at a completely healthy capacity. Apply. Okay, so Sun Fairy, keep an eye on your liver. Again, keep doing some work on it as well too. Of course, to quote the medical medium, celery juice. Okay, celery juice works really, really great as well too with weight loss. It's a gradual process, but it starts to work. I've lost quite a few pounds just from celery juice alone. Okay, so work with that as well too. Work with celery juice. Work with the heavy metal detox smoothie as well too that he suggests. And I suggest Anthony William a lot because his work is very accurate. He's very good at what he does. He's a pure conduit to spirit. This is why I reference him a lot. Actually, with a lot of this, the healing code cards as well too. A lot of what is being repaired within the body is actually thanks to the medical medium, is thanks to a lot of his work. Because I research a lot of his stuff, I correlate it together with my own, I look into some other things, and it's all just like a big stew. And putting that into the healing code cards, having the codes in there that represent that, and it works. And people are seeing how they're getting better, okay? So Sun Fairy, healing code cards as well too, I'd recommend. So look into the medical medium, look into the healing code cards, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, guys, we've got about 7 minutes left, so we'll probably do about 2 more healing requests, and then we'll move on to Q&A. Let me just go back to where I was here. All right. Okay, here's one here from Olinda. Olinda says, hello, Brad. I could do with a healing for my addiction to smoking. Okay, thanks. So this is a good one as well, too, is we want to be able to clear the smoking away. Now, of course, on a philosophical level, what they would say is that, you know, if you're smoking a cigarette and if you're asking yourself, is this the most healthiest thing I can put in my body at this moment? That subliminal suggestion can work a little bit over time. It's almost like a type of self-hypnosis. Some people just may not want to, partake of that idea because they still are so insistent that they're trying to get over the cigarette addiction. Really, another way is also looking into the emotion about why you put a cigarette in your mouth and you light it up. Why do you do that? What's going to happen if I took those cigarettes away from you completely and you had nothing? You had no cigarettes. What's going to happen to you? Oh, Brad, I'll go frantic. I'll go crazy. Right? That's it. We want to look into the underlying emotional issue about what is actually causing you to light up, right? To light that cigarette up. I'll go crazy. I'll go stir crazy. I'll go mad. And now you want to look into those extra layers to say, I feel that I want to escape from reality. I'm trying to cloak something. I'm trying to cover something up. I'm covering up my emotions. I feel depressed. I feel angry. I feel upset, right? I feel grief. So then we want to work with the lungs and we want to clear that out altogether. Okay, so Linda, what I'm going to get you to do is I want you just to place your hands upon the center of your chest here. And I just want you to take a minute. I want you just to scan yourself. I want you just to feel your lungs, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, okay? And I just want you to feel how they're feeling when you light up a cigarette and you start smoking. Okay? Because again, there are attachments there. There are entity attachments that are constantly telling you, go light up a cigarette. Get some tobacco in your system. Okay? A lot of it is entity attachment overcloaking related. Okay? So we want to be aware of that. So this is what I'm going to do for you today, is I'm going to clear away the entity attachments within your body. Okay? And that's going to help to clear away those entities, because I have to leave the emotional stuff to you. Okay? You have to look into your emotion to find out exactly why you're lighting up a cigarette. Okay? You're trying to escape from something. You're trying to hide from something. You are depressed about something. You feel guilty about something. Okay? You want to go in and you want to clear that out. BCR technique to do that. Okay? But what I'm going to do for you today is clear out entity attachments within your organs, within your entire body. Okay? So Linda, again, just having your hands upon the center of your chest and just tuning in. And just holding on to that tuning in feeling, connecting with your body. As I now connect with Spirit, I command Spirit's God light to completely eliminate, purge, release, and banish all entity attachments contained within Olinda's organs, glands, and bodily systems from the top of her head down to the bottom of her feet, casting those entities out of her body, banishing them from her being altogether, putting them up into the light of Source Consciousness to be purified. And may Olinda's body be completely free of any attachment of entities whatsoever. Apply. Yeah. You had quite a few disembodied energies there that really love cigarettes. Okay? So it's like it's like they're getting the boot by Spirit. It's like, get out of here, right? And so there was a lot of influence within your organs, right? A lot of it is in the kidneys, a lot of it is in the lungs, the liver. And they were just saying, yeah, light up, get a cigarette going, right? You're getting that nagging voice coming within yourself to constantly light up. You didn't even really want cigarettes at times. You were just buying into the influences of these overcloakers coming in and wanting you to light up a cigarette, okay? So the next thing I want you to do, Olinda, is I just want you to see if you can go completely cold turkey without any cigarettes whatsoever, right? At least for a 24-hour period. And I want you to look at your emotions. I want you to see exactly what comes up when you're going cold turkey without cigarettes. What emotions are coming up, okay? And you want to look in those emotions and you want to replace that with loving energy. And what we, of course, do afterwards is we look for healthy substitution, okay? If I give up cigarettes, what's going to take my place? A substitution that feels better than cigarettes. Oh, maybe it's peppermint tea. Maybe it's a smoothie. Maybe it's something, again, that I can identify with that's very, very healthy for me. And I'm using that as a substitute in the meantime, okay? So go cold turkey on those cigarettes for at least 24 hours. Monitor how you feel. I know sometimes it can be challenging. Ask somebody to help you along with this as well, too, if you need help, all right? And write down those emotions that are coming up if you don't have a cigarette. But again, those entities have been kicked away. So now it's entirely up to you to fully kick the habit of that, okay? Thank you very much, Linda. Okay, guys, we'll do one more healing request, and then we're going to get into Q&A. Okay, here's one here from Anna White. And I can relate with what Anna's saying here as well, too. Hi, Brad. Could you clear mucus from my body? Blowing, spitting, yes. Now, here's the problem. Mucus isn't really the problem, because mucus is actually a defense mechanism because it's covering up a lot of other bacteria. There's viral infections. There's bacterial infections. So what I can do for you today, Anna, is I can clear out the excess mucus in certain areas. But we have mucus in the body because I had this horrifically, right? I had basically a throat fungus. I had mouth fungus. I had throat fungus. I believe they call it esophageal flush in that way. And that's why I was going right all the time. So I was having this horrendous, fungus infection. And I discovered it, and then Spirit cleared it away. And so now voice is feeling a lot better. I'm not constantly, I'm just hacking away here. So it feels a lot better. So that can also be something that we have to look at. We have to look into candida fungus. We have to look into virus infections, bacteria, all of these other particular forms of pollutants and toxins within the body. We got to clear them out. That's a lot of work. Okay, so Anna, what I would suggest is after I clear out the excess mucus for you today, please do a session with me. Okay, we got to look into that very, very deeply. I got to scan with spirit. I got to find out exactly what is going on, what kind of viruses you have, what kind of toxins you have, and clearing that out. Now, the easy way is getting the healing code cards, okay? And start working with the lungs enhancer, the liver enhancer, kidney enhancer, etc., clearing it all out with the healing code cards, and that's very easy to do, okay? Second option, again, is working with me and just trying to clear out all those viruses that you may have, okay? And we have to kind of go through a laundry list of what those viruses are. That's certainly what I've had to do with myself as well, too. I also had like a bit of a rash around the center of my chest as well, too. And I did some research, and I cleared out a lot of the toxins responsible, gone. And within the next day, the chest was getting lighter again, right? That redness was gone. So again, that's just a reminder for everybody. We have to kind of do research. We have to find out exactly what's going on. This is why I suggest, if you can, right, just get a diagnosis. Find out exactly what is happening within your body with viruses or anything like that. This is a big help. That way you come to me and say, oh, Brad, I have this. Okay, spirit, cancel it out. Poof, gone. And then it's done, okay? This has also happened with cancers. All cancer is a fungus. It's a fungus that thrives in an acidic environment, okay? So easily, boom, cancel out that fungus and it's dead. And now cancer is gone. It's not an unbeatable disease, as so many doctors in the medical field says it is. It's really even not that difficult to get rid of. It's actually quite simple. But again, mainstream media makes it feel like it's some horrific, despicable, awful disease, and it's almost uncurable. It's not, guys. It's a bunch of BS. It's nothing more than a fungus, right? And we're clearing that out. So Anna, getting back to you, yes, I will work with clearing out excess mucus within your body. Okay, so Anna, what I want you to do right now is just placing your hands upon the center of your body. And I just want you to focus, because mainly when you're saying excess mucus, I'm feeling the throat, and I'm feeling the lungs with you, okay? So we're going to clear out those areas of excess mucus within the body. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, eliminate, and purge all excess mucus contained within the throat area, the thyroid area, the thymus area, the lungs area, the bronchial tubes, canceling out all excess mucus within Anna's body, purging that energy up out of her body, putting it up into source consciousness to be purified, and having the excess mucus completely eliminated from her body. Apply. Okay. So Anna, deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, if you're starting to feel a little bit lighter, that's good. But like I said, that's not really resolving the issue. That's just helping to kind of ease up on the mucus. We just have to work in looking at in some of the toxins and viruses that are within your body. So again, option A, healing code cards. Option B, private session with me, and we'll look into it deeper. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay, guys, so we are done with healing requests today. Thank you again, everybody, for your requests. So now I'm just going to kind of scroll up. I'm just going to kind of go in random areas here because I know that there are some questions that people had earlier. So, okay. Here's an interesting question from Tom. Now, Adronis basically addressed this a little bit with the video that was talking about humans beyond the Neanderthals in that way. Now, Tom asked Adronis, can you talk about how the origins of the modern man on Earth before Lemuria? I'm confused about the dark-skinned race origins in relationship with Caucasians. Okay, well, Adronis can come through, and he can share some insight on that. So just take me a moment to bring him through. I could basically answer the question for you, but I'm going to leave it to Adronis for that. So I'll go ahead and bring Adronis in now, and he can elaborate on modern man on Earth before Lemuria. Here we go. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. We say hello to Tom, and we thank you for your question, and we thank all of you for participating with this interaction through your internet collective consciousness. as it relates to Tom's question relating to modern man appearing prior to Lemuria. Modern man did not appear prior to Lemuria. Now, again, you have to understand that there are different Neanderthal types. Modern man really isn't a Neanderthal. Even though they have similar templates, they do have similarities relating to genetic structure in that particular way. Modern man is not a Neanderthal. Neanderthal is a different category in its own way, different subgroups, different sub-races that were previously created more indigenous to the earth. The idea of modern man came upon your sphere over 165,000 years ago. There are different groups pertaining to modern man relating to the multitudes of different experiments that have taken place upon this time within Earth prior to that 165,000 years ago. So this is why you have certain African tribes. Yes, some represent that of modern man, but actually if you look deeper at specific African tribes, you will discover that there are hybrids between that of what you would know as Neanderthal and modern man that still exist to this day. Which means when modern man was introduced upon this planet, modern man, modern woman in that sense, they originally started out more so female than anything else. The Lemurian civilization in their earliest times actually started out much more androgynous. All right? They were not Caucasian, really. They are much more in the idea very similar to what you would know as African in appearance. And so the Caucasian race really did not come onto your planet until much later. The Caucasian races that may have existed upon your planet were either indigenous on that level or they were colonists. They were basically, in that sense, refugees, extraterrestrial in origin. And there were certain extraterrestrial refugees that also did mate with certain Neanderthal species as well, too. And this also created a certain level of hybridization between that of what you would know as Neanderthal races and, again, star races that did appear very similar to your modern men. So again, prior to Lemuria, there were colonies. And these colonies, again, housed a lot of different extraterrestrial refugees. Some were from Orion, some were from the Pleiades, some were from Lyra, some were from Arcturus, some were from, in that sense, Rigel specifically, the star within Orion. But again, these different colonies, in that sense, did mingle together with other indigenous Neanderthal life. And so there were hybridizations that were, shall we say, produced at that time. Now again, modern man, in regards to God's ultimate creation, came upon the earth approximately 165,000 years ago, and one race began in Lemuria. Others, again, started to spawn within Asia Minor, started to spawn within Europe, and again, many of the continents that you know today. Of course, continents that no longer exist as well, too, being that of Mu. But there are different types of modern men, modern women, modern human, homo human, as we term it in that way. And that again, there were different experiments relating to different ethnicities upon the planet for these particular bodies that were being created, fitted the environment, fitted the appropriate climatic zone to which they occupied. And so there were other modern humans existing around the same time that the Lemurian civilization of modern human was firstly existing. But as we stated, when humanity firstly came upon the planet, they were mostly female. All right, and so as they were mostly female, or you could say androgynous in that way, they became impregnated similar to what you would understand as clones. Basically what you would term as parthenogenesis. And through parthenogenesis, they were actually able to create clone babies of themselves. But of course, there was further genetic implementation to where the male was later introduced. And then the androgynous hosts, we will say, had mutations to where males were coming together in that way. And then so the males started to spawn a lot further. But much in regards to the hosts at that time, produced through parthenogenesis. And through the aspect of parthenogenesis, over time, man came upon the planet a lot more because of these aspects of quote-unquote mutations. But what has also been happening as well, too, is what many of you have also understood through the shall we say, documentation in that way of your Bible, to where what you would term as the Elohim coming upon the planet and mating with certain females of the planet that would there later for, in that way, create offspring pertaining to that of the Nephilim. And again, this was a great taboo. This was not supposed to be done. And as a consequence in that sense, the offspring would become, in that sense, what you would know as giants. And they would not look very, very human at all. They were much more animalistic than the idea of actually having human intelligence. They would eat humans. They would, in that sense, cause a great deal of chaos in that way. But again, that's another story. But primarily, in that sense, the Caucasian race did not come till much later, pertaining to the idea of modern humanity. That is basically during the times to where Atlantis was starting to grow, was starting to prosper, and of course, Mars was being evacuated. And so, the current moon that you are aware of right now was around Mars and transported much of the survivors from Mars upon Earth. And the hope was that they would coexist, work together with each other, because they could not allow an entire species on a planet to be destroyed, because they too were part of the modern human experiment taking place upon Mars. And so they came upon Earth and they started to commingle. And well, of course, many of you know exactly how that turned out pertaining to the downfall of Atlantis. Again, not all of the Caucasian race were malevolent. Many of them were very loving, very understanding, fitted well in with other people upon the planet. It was much more the rulers. The rulers did not want to share power. They wanted to rule. And so they started to corrupt the empire within, pertaining to that of Atlantis. But again, going back into the times of Lemuria, yes, different races were upon the planet. You had your Asians, you had your Indians, you had your natives, you had your Africans. As we stated, the idea of the Caucasians came later. They are the latest race as it pertains to the modern human that occupy the earth. We thank you very much, Tom, for your question. Okay, thank you, Tom, for that great question. I appreciate it. Hope that answers you. Hope that answers your question. Okay, I'm going to scroll down the list here a little bit more. Okay. Really scrolling down the list here. Interesting. Once I'm done the healing, then everybody starts putting way more healing questions up. Well, we are done with the healing for today, guys. Like I said, go to the healing code cards, or again, drop me an email with what you're going through. I know a lot of people are sick. That's why I make the healing code cards so we can help with that. Okay, I cannot pronounce this person's name, but I have a question for history. Can Adronis explain the origins and real history of Bulgarians? Also things like language and culture back in the past, as far back as possible in the origin. Well, that's going to take a long time. So what I would suggest, again, I can't pronounce your name. Please send this question to me because it's going to take way too much time to really get into that today. And I will put that on the shelf for something that we can talk about in the future, okay, relating to language and culture, not just the Bulgarians, but the language and the culture altogether. That would just take up a lot of time for Jonas to share that information. And I want to try and get more questions in today. So again, I can't pronounce your name, but please send me an email, info@newearthteachings.org. Send me those questions, and then we'll keep that on the shelf for your future time, okay? Thank you again. Okay, here's one here for No Reply Phone. Oops. Okay, No Reply Phone 1. Brad and Jonas, is there anything we can do here to help rid Saturn of her binding rings and help to heal her? Well, if more people come together in a state of collective, yes, that certainly helps. One person can't resolve this issue pertaining to the binding of the rings altogether. Now, there's already an effort in the star system. A lot of it is through the Confederation as well too, that is helping to clear a lot of the influence that has been in the star system, that has waged war in the star system for hundreds of thousands of years. And until that's done, we can't really deal with the healing process. The riffraff needs to be cleared out of the star system altogether. That's what they're doing. That's the process that's happening right now. As I've talked about before, Adronis has mentioned about the moon currently being deactivated. And by 2024, the moon will be completely deactivated. By 2024, the deep state will be completely dissolved. Okay, so 2024 is a very large benchmark year. But for many of us, if all of us had a great deal of compassion and we started to work together with Saturn, absolutely, we could certainly dissolve the rings. But it's not something one person can do, right? And basically what they would suggest firstly is saying, clean Earth up first, okay? Clean up your own planet first. And then when you clean up your own planet and you go towards the stars, you will understand more of the technology about what's actually happened with Saturn, about why Jupiter and Neptune and Uranus look the way they do, right? We want to investigate that a lot further. We want to see exactly what's happened that's led up to a lot of this destruction that's happened into our star system. So this is what Spirit would suggest first. Say, take care of your planet, take care of the Earth first, take care of your people. As you take care of that first, then you can go starbound and you can start working together with all of these other forms of phenomena and helping out in that way. But the riffraff has to be cleared, right? The Draco are currently stationed in the Saturnian system, okay? So they're all over that place. They have to get out of here. So once they're completely out of here, then you'll have an opportunity to work together with Saturn to clear that out. And I would like to think, absolutely, that those bindings can come off the goddess and Saturn can again start to heal herself in that way. I do not feel that she'll ever become a star again, at least not in this dimension. But relating to that, yeah, there certainly needs to be a very deep healing process. And that could probably take hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years, before people start to realize exactly what's actually happening. A lot of stuff that Spirit is bringing to me to share with you guys is probably going to take hundreds or even thousands of years for the grand populace to actually digest and understand what's really going on, okay? You guys are the mavericks here. You guys are coming in and you're tapping into this, and there's maybe a couple hundred of you here, and you're the mavericks, and you're understanding a lot about what's being shared here with Spirit, and you're well informed about what's going on. Unfortunately, the rest of the world isn't on that level yet, okay? So you're getting information thousands of years ahead of its time, I myself am too as well, that again is eventually going to propagate. But the mass populace is not aware of any of this, guys, and I'm sorry to say that. They're not aware that Saturn, in that sense, is in a bind. Modern science won't even acknowledge that, right? It's those who are the mavericks. It's those who are a little far more ahead that are realizing that these things are happening. And it's going to take hundreds or even thousands of years before it actually clicks into humanity to get what's actually being told here by Spirit. Because Adronis comes through, he shares advanced concepts. I bring in Spirit, Spirit shares incredibly advanced concepts, hundreds or thousands of years ahead of their time, okay? And you mavericks are now receiving this, and you're doing what you can to educate people as well, too. This is going to take a long time, and I'm sorry to say that, guys. It's going to take a long time to clean up our planet, to clean up our star system, to get a whole bunch of understanding about what's really been going on in our star system these past hundreds of thousands of years. It's going to take a long, 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 long time. Okay, it's going to go way past your generation. It's going to go way past future generations. There's a lot of crap that has been all over this star system for hundreds of thousands of years, where souls that have disembodied from their body through transition, through physical death, are caught up in webs in astral planes and are still attempting to be rescued this day. And it's going to take thousands of years just to clean up all the souls that are trapped up in these fabrics of lies and of personal imprisonment that they're putting themselves into. It's a mess, guys. It is a really big frigging mess. And this is, again, why we're coming together and we're realizing a lot of this stuff. But the whole idea is that there's not enough workers. I'm sorry to say that, guys. It's not enough of us. You know, it's really looking at 5 or 6% of the population right now that is actually understanding what's being shared here and actually gives a damn to want to do something about it. Whereas 90+% of the population wouldn't have a friggin' clue of what you're talking about, right? We're not at that level yet on a collective level. So this is, again, is why when I've talked about 2037 and the idea about 5 or 6% of the population going to fourth density, because those are the ones that are truly compassionate, that are moving into that higher level to be graduates. I'd like to think the percentage will go up here in the next few years. I'd love to see that. But again, like I said, we're the mavericks here. We're sharing a lot of information here that appears rogue, because we're doing a lot of information here that's thousands of years ahead of its time. And the modern culture is going to take thousands of years to catch up with it. So to answer the question about Saturn's rings, that's going to be a long time in the making. Okay, we have to have cooperation. We need a collective intent to help that. But again, firstly, it needs to start with the Earth. Okay, so that again is me being bold, but I have to share that with you guys as well too. You know, I can't just say, oh, you know, let's just put our hands together and, you know, the few hundred people that are on this call right now, let's all take Saturn's rings down. Not going to happen. Sorry to tell you that, guys. It's not going to happen. Energies aren't in that pure state enough to let that happen. Everything needs to start to vacate from this star system that has been causing this infection, that has been causing this contamination. They got to go. Once they go, and we are able to now work with this entire star system, we'll certainly start to clean stuff up. But again, it's going to take time. It's going to take many generations before all of this entire star system clears up. And that's just the direct truth of it all. Okay, it's sad, but that's how it is. Okay. So how are we on time? Okay, I got about 10 minutes left. So let me just go up to where I was. I completely forgot where I was. It's interesting how you guys come up with these questions. They're quite amazing. I think you guys are getting spirit coming through you too. So, okay, here's a good one here from Bonnie. Bonnie says, can Adronis elaborate on Sasquatch and Bigfoot? So that's a good one. I'm trying to find a good question that's not going to take too long to answer because we are short on time. So certainly, Bonnie, yes, Adronis can talk about Sasquatch and Bigfoot. Here we go. We are here at this time. We thank you very much, Bonnie, for your question. As it relates to the idea of Bigfoot or Sasquatch, whatever term you want to use, yes, this is a native species that has been on your planet for several millions of years. And so again, they are a part of somewhat similar to what you would term as Neanderthals, but they actually have much more of the human stature. So actually, when you're looking at the human, modern human in that sense, much more of their genetics are actually more compatible with the Sasquatch than the Neanderthals. The Neanderthals would represent much more of a primate or ape-like in appearance. Whereas a Sasquatch, whereas you look at the Sasquatch, they stand completely upright. They are not hunched over. Their digits, the way that their body is completely composed, is identical to that of the modern man. So modern man genetics have actually been part of Sasquatch, Bigfoot genetics. That is much more of the appropriate template here when it comes to modern man. So again, there are similarities pertaining to the Neanderthal genetics as well as the Sasquatch genetics, but they are very much a different archetype altogether. So modern human, modern man, modern woman, etc., has all been contemplated together and configured together through much of the template pertaining to that of the Sasquatch races. So, Sasquatch races, there were volunteers that in that sense contributed their genetics. They're one of the 22 in that way, you could say. So this is why many of you are noticing that you have certain forms of connections to the Sasquatch people. Now, the Sasquatch, yes, there are those that exist still physically. They can exist in caves. They can exist in deep wilderness as well, too. Some of them also exist in the astral planes. Some of them also exist as ascended masters. And they can actually, in that sense, communicate with those that may also be incarnated in human form that have also had memories pertaining to being a Sasquatch. They keep very much in touch with their own people, regardless of the soul that occupies a new host, such as the idea of a human body. So in that sense, they have been stewards of the earth. They perform a great deal of rituals. They also have human intelligence as well, too. Even though their body may appear somewhat animalistic, their intelligence is very much on par as your own. And so they're very intelligent. They know how to create technologies just as you do. They work with crystal technologies as well, just as you do. They also work with the consciousness of the forest. They can make themselves appear and disappear at will. They can actually invoke the veils of dimensions. And so they can actually be here presently, and then they can disappear as well too. Now again, the Sasquatch in the beginning times were very open to working together with the human race. But of course, as there became a great deal of corruption and rulership, much of the Sasquatch's races and tribes, as we would say, did not really want to have anything to do with humanity because they felt that they have lost their way, and so they would go into certain states of retreat. There were, again, certain Sasquatches that were being hunted for game during the times of Atlantis as well, too, that if you caught a Sasquatch, you would be seen as a legendary hunter or a legendary killer in that particular way. So some of them were even hunted for sport. And again, this is why there are certain Sasquatch races that have animosity towards the human race, because they had fallen so far, and they basically hunted the Sasquatch just for the means of sport, just for the means of honor. And so there was a great retreat that was happening where the Sasquatch, much like your indigenous people, had reservations. And these reservations, in that sense, started to go deeply into the underground as well, too, deeply into caves as well. And there are, of course, Sasquatches that are so infuriated with man that they would not hesitate to bring harm upon humanity as well, too. So Sasquatches are very divided pertaining to the idea in their opinions of man. There are those who are very happy to help you, and there are those who want absolutely nothing to do with you, and they would have absolutely no problem in ending your life. So again, it all depends in regards to the type of Sasquatch that you're speaking of. There are many different types, just as there are different types of humans upon this planet as well too. But again, those that are willing to help you will teach you very much similarly to how the Native Americans would teach you, because they live similar lives. They don't really prefer the idea of technology in that way. They live with nature. They can go in between the dimensions. They want to work with the earth. And again, at times they will show up and they will do certain forms of quote-unquote earth sanitation duties, looking after vortexes, working and manipulating energy, etc., even if there are a small amount of humans around. They are true stewards to this planet, and they know the earth a great deal more than you do because they've been here a lot longer. So for those of you who feel a connection with the Sasquatch, we would highly recommend you connect with them because there is much they can teach you all about the earth, all about the elements, all about how to work together with this planet and bringing it into greater health capacity. We thank you very much for your question. Goodbye for now. Okay, so there we go. Okay, guys, we are practically out of time. I'll see if there's one super last quick question here. Can Adronis address blood transfusion? Well, I can't bring Adronis in right now because we're got 1 minute left here. Blood transfusions, is it regressive? Again, you're only looking at a particular prop, a template in that sense, and you're putting a certain feeling upon it. Now, there's nothing really wrong with the idea of exchanging blood if it's knowing that it's going to save a person's life, right? Yes, blood itself is sacred. But again, you have to look at it in a compassion principle, right? If you know that you have your daughter in that sense that is very, very sick, and you have compatible blood types to save her life, would you do that? Now, basically, this goes back into the Jehovah's Witnesses religion as well, too, which I grew up with. And they would say, absolutely no blood transfusion. Your blood is sacred. You shouldn't be sharing it in that way. Again, that's up to you guys. There's religious movements that are completely against blood transfusions. And there are those who are for it. There's no wrong or right answer, okay? What you're looking at blood, you're looking at life force, okay? That's what blood is. Blood is the physical manifestation of one's life force. So if you want to give part of your life force up to help save another, that's your own choice to do. If you feel that your life force is so sacred that you want to keep it inside your body, that's for your own decision to do. Cannibalism, in that sense, that's not the point. We're not eating flesh in that sense to representing the idea of blood type within a person's body. You don't eat flesh to basically get a blood transfusion, okay? That's not the way to do it. This is contribution, okay? So if a person decides to contribute their life force towards helping another person in need, That can certainly be an alignment, okay? There's no right or wrong answer with this. You guys want to be very careful with the idea of your traditions, your beliefs, because it puts walls around you. You have to remember knowledge like this, because it goes back to an old proverb. The sharing of knowledge at times can be actually much more of a hindrance than it can be a liberation, okay? Having a little too much knowledge can always be a dangerous thing, because people who do not know how to utilize that knowledge wisely will turn it into a wall shrouding their reality, preventing the sunlight of all knowledge and all information and all wisdom to come forward. Be careful with how you define the aspects of your beliefs and your traditions. That may help you to, in that way, rethink it later on in life. Okay? The whole idea about how you become a true human on this planet is to have absolutely no belief systems whatsoever, which means that you're open to everything. Now, Brad, what would you do? Let's say if one of your kids was dying and needed a blood transfusion, would you do it without question? Without question. Because I'm not looking at my aspect of a body as a property, right? My life force is absolutely available and contributed to someone who I feel I deeply love. Absolutely. That's my own particular perspective. But when I was raised in the Jehovah's Witnesses, no, you were not allowed to give blood. You were not allowed to do any form of transfusions, right? They would disfellowship you if you did something like that. And I thought, well, that was one of the stupidest things they could ever possibly do. But that, again, is my own perspective, okay? Blood is life force. You have to decide exactly what you wish to do with your life force. To contribute it or to keep it within yourself is your call, and there's no right or wrong answer for that, okay? Thank you, everybody. We're out of time for this week. There will not be a session next week because I will be in Mount Shasta, so the next 2 weeks, there will not be any New Earth Teachings lives, okay? So it'll be coming back in 3 weeks' time to do the next episode, and because I'll be in Mount Shasta, I'll be teaching. So let me look that up on the calendar here. That'll be on the 30th. So August 30th will be the next episode of New Earth Teachings Live. So again, hope you guys have a good next couple of weeks. I will probably still be doing some videos, posting on the channel while I'm in transit to California, because I will be filming a lot of the event as well too, and putting little snippets of it up as well. So again, have a wonderful weekend wherever you are in the world, and I'll speak to you again in 3 weeks' time. You take care, guys. Namaste, and may it be well with you.